Picture going back to March 2020, and let's see what happened with the interest rate and inflation. So it's March 2020, and the Bank of Canada is going to make a huge announcement because it's not inflation problem anymore, it's deflation problem, meaning the prices of things are decreasing, they're going down. We have resale of vehicles, from houses, from the stock market, everything is crashing, so the prices is going down. And what did Bank of Canada decide to do?
The COVID-19 pandemic has caused an unprecedented fall in economic activity in Canada, and the recovery will require considerable monetary policy support. Interest rates are very low, and they're going to be there for a long time.
So Bank of Canada comes out and says, hey, everybody, go out and spend. Do not be fearful. Our interest rates are going to remain low for a very, very long time. Exactly a year later, 2021 March, inflation hits above 3%. So this is pretty much the threshold of Bank of Canada, or where Bank of Canada wants to see inflation at the top of the range. Bank of Canada hasn't raised interest rate since 0.25%, and it still remains at a record low level. Forward another year, and we're in March 2022, where Bank of Canada finally realized that things were getting out of control and inflation has hit around 6%. So from a deflationary period 2 years prior to, which was March 2020, we're hitting 6% right now. This is way above the Bank of Canada's comfortable target range, which was at under 3%, and we're double that. Not only was the inflation at highest level in decades, we also had resale of homes shooting through the roof, resale of vehicles shooting through the roof, and then everything just seems to have gone up. This 18 months of raising interest rate brought the economy to its knees, spending went down, and then obviously inflation was tamed, or so we thought. Thankfully, it seemed like November 2023 seemed to be giving us hope, where inflation was nearing 3% at 3.1% year over year. However, today is January 16 as I'm making this video, 2024, and the inflation numbers came out for the month of December at 3.4%. This uptick in inflation is definitely going to make Bank of Canada think before they come and announce on the 30th regarding what they want to do with the rates going forward. We're at 5% right now. I don't think with this kind of uptick in interest rate, Bank of Canada would want to sound dovish. They wouldn't want to sound softly. There are some talks down south. The Federal Reserve may be cutting interest rate 3 times, sometimes this year. Nobody knows when, but the market, the financial market, is hoping that it would happen in March. However, that hope slowly faded away when the inflation numbers came out for the States for the month of December, and it went up month over month, and it also went up year over year. The silver lining in this is that the core inflation that the Federal Reserve down south in states that they measure, it went down year over year. It went down below 4% for the first time since mid-2021. Bank of Canada has continuously said that they would like to see a couple of months of data of inflation to see what they should do going forward. So this uptick of inflation for the month of December may not really make them really bearish, but they might wait another couple of months to decide what to do with the interest rates. So currently right now, as we're speaking, the overnight exchange rate, which is the Bank of Canada rate, we're sitting at 5%. And in terms of inflation year over year for the month of December, the record was at 3.4% recorded. The likelihood of interest rate going up is very, very, very unlikely. The real question is, when will the interest rates come down? And like I said, it is a question that even the biggest economist in this country may not be able to answer at this moment, because we had a small uptick in inflation. Inflation is very sticky when it comes down to the target range, and that's what's happening right now. Now, Bank of Canada has also a double whammy problem where most of the inflation was actually caused by their interest rate. Housing accounted for 30% of the inflation. Regardless, I believe that when the Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem comes out on January 30th, he's not going to be too dovish. He's not going to deliver any hope, because obviously that may stimulate the market more. In return, that may create more inflation. I think what may happen is he may come out and then just ask more time in terms of reading more months of inflation to see where we're going. However, what you need to know right now is that we're at 3.4% year over year inflation, and the Bank of Canada rate is above that at 5%. Also, one of the biggest questions that I get is, Ragu, like, the interest rates are really high. Why hasn't the house prices come down? The simple answer to that equation is that there's a part that's missing, and that's inventory. I can't speak for immigration, because although we're getting a lot of people here, we don't have any data to represent how many of those new immigrants are actually buying homes. There's no data here. So if immigrants are maybe 20%, 25%, 30% are buying homes, unfortunately, part of the equation that is missing right now for prices to even come down further is the fact that there isn't a lot of inventory in the market. This chart was provided by Canada Mortgage, and you can definitely check them out. They were nice enough to share this chart with us. It kind of describes the relationship between the inflation as well as the Bank of Canada rate and what has happened. If you have any questions regarding buying or selling or regarding mortgage, we are well connected and we can definitely help you out. Please reach out to us at 416-712-2006.